Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Cameroonians, and welcome to this very special broadcast. I did promise you today that I'm going to bring you some wonderful gentlemen in the studio, and they are right here. Of course, your one and only Mr. Utia Roger. For people who have not had the opportunity to see him, he is right here in the studio, and he'll be answering some questions that you've asked and also making some clarifications. And of course, I'm going straight to have them introduce themselves so that you can get to know them better. Of course, Mr. Utia Roger, let me just call that name. You might want to tell Cameroonians who really you are. They have been hearing the Utia Roger name. They don't really know who you are, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Edmond. Thank you for having me in your studio. Good evening, fellow Cameroonians. Good evening, fellow compatriots. It's my pleasure to appear online today in this beautiful studio to be able to answer some of the queries that are coming up from you, our community. You rightly asked, who is Utia? Utia is a father. He's a Cameroonian, resident here in the state of Qatar, like most of us. He's a graduate from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. That happens to be one of the prestigious universities in the world in the field of public health. Currently working with the Ministry of Public Health and a volunteer to his community to make sure that things move on smoothly. So thank you so much. In summary, this is Mr. Utia.
Brilliant presentation or introduction. We want to see that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Mr. Utia Roger, for being here to make some clarifications and answer some questions. That is a very wonderful profile he has. I mean, God probably directed us to choose this gentleman to volunteer for this community. And of course, on the other side of the table, I have our brother Duclair, who, of course, is going to just give a summary of what Mr. Utia is going to be explaining here this evening, and he'll be doing that in French. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
And you're welcome to Edinburgh Studio.
Thank you.
Maybe you want to tell Cameroonians something before we continue.
No, I am Duclair Banten. I'm a resident in Qatar, and I'm an electrical engineer, and that's my job here in Qatar, and I'm a bachelor. Merci, Monsieur Dibobo, de m'avoir reçu dans votre studio. Et c'est un plaisir pour moi de servir la communauté en tant que résident et Camerounais au Qatar. Je vis ici au Qatar bientôt 10 ans. Je reste dans le secteur de l'ingénierie, puisque je suis ingénieur en génie électrique.
Okay.
Voilà, c'est ça ma profession ici au Qatar.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, my dear brother. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we go straight to the issues that have brought us here this evening. And of course, our General Assembly is coming up on the 2nd of June. The long-awaited General Assembly, as we all have been waiting, it's finally here. Barely a few days we'll be having that. And there have been some controversies about a certain few things that have been happening or that are surrounding the General Assembly that is coming up. And of course, one of that, Mr. Utia, is the hall that has been chosen. Cameroonians are saying, are expressing that they have been to that place, and that hall cannot take more than 100 persons conveniently. And we're talking about Cameroonians who have registered now more than 300. And of course, if I may reveal to you, I've met a few Cameroonians who said they are not going to put their name on the list, but they will be present at that General Assembly. How do you intend to handle this situation?
Thank you once again. I really do not think the committee that is committed to giving the best to our community will settle for an option that will not be able to give them the best. Why the choice for this particular one? Yeah, it's a pertinent question. Let me take you down memory lane. We have gone through a lot as far as the organization of this General Assembly and election is concerned. Initially, we had scheduled this occasion to take place back in the month of March. That was the 10th of March. And we did advertise a different venue that we had chosen. And now when we took this venue, we had in mind that we have about, we anticipated for about 500 Cameroonians that were to turn out on that day.
Right.
So this is why we went for this venue. Unfortunately, one of our brothers in the community was the one who took us to this venue, and he had to plead on our behalf before this venue was even granted to us. So the person guaranteed us that he will be able to maneuver the security issues, since he always has security on site, because if you are to hold an event of this magnitude, and going by the people who are to attend, we expect our diplomats. So security becomes one of the first things you have to consider.
Right.
So this issue was brought up, and you all will bear with us that by then we have not received this authorization for a permit from the embassy. So it couldn't have actually happened without us having a legal backing, because we were like putting lives at risk, taking risk, but we had somebody who had like, okay, I'll help you people.
Right.
But again, we came back to the community, all was not well. And why was all not well? All was not well because Cameroonians were expressing their desires on what they want. And the committee doesn't impose on the community that they want to serve. So we gave a listening ear to the request that came up.
Mm-hmm.
So consequently, the General Assembly had to be postponed to a later date. So when we postponed this General Assembly, unfortunately, the person who gave us the venue was not happy, because the day we went to book for this venue, there was this Syrian community.
Okay.
They had also booked that same venue for that day,
Mm-hmm.
but their own occasion was just for 3 hours. Since we told this guy that, okay, we'll be booking the venue for 6 hours, he had to convince the Syrian community that something has happened just to give us, because he will benefit an extra 3 hours.
Mm.
So when we cancelled the deal, it was very, very bitter. This is how we lost that venue. So when we reconvened our GA for the 2nd of June, we went back to plead. He said he doesn't want to sit here. He said he doesn't even want to hear about us. Yeah, because we made him to lose whatever thing he had to gain from that venue on that day. So we went and told him that what we had deposited belongs to the community. It was still not an easy task for us to retrieve what we gave as deposit. So we had to go an extra mile, and we finally received what we gave as deposit for the venue. But again, we had constraint because the venue is there. We needed other facilities,
Right.
like tables, chairs, and other things. And he told us that he doesn't have those things there. So we need to reach out to another person who will be able to supply us with those things.
Mm-hmm.
And we also had to pay some money. Even as we speak right now, it's still very difficult for us to retrieve what we gave to this person for chairs and tables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the person is still keeping the money, giving us the same complaint that we actually came and booked, disturbed him on that day, he could not do any other thing. So till now that we speak, we have not retrieved that money. But we hope over time he will be able to comply.
Certainly.
So that's how we lost this venue. Our next option was to go to Cambridge, which is a popular venue that all of us
Right.
are aware of. So we went
to Cambridge, where the Baffoman John had their cultural evening.
Yes, and where Cameroonians.
Because a few Cameroonians have been asking that, why can't we go to that hall where Baffoman John had their cultural evening? They think it's a convenient hall. You might want to say something about
Yes, we actually went to the Cambridge, not once, not twice. Even some members in the GA, they can testify that they accompanied us once, and we went to Cambridge. And we had one response from Cambridge: we don't want to see you people. We don't see you guys coming in with alcohol, but by the time you are leaving, the whole place is intoxicated with alcohol. So we don't want to see you guys again. We pleaded, he didn't work. So when I went back to the former venue, or the previous venue, and it didn't work, I just decided to okay, because my son happens to be one of the pupils in Cambridge. So I just had to use that leverage to be able to reach out to the administration. So when I met the principal and he told me, I have to go to the facility manager to be able to have this sorted out. So we met with the facility manager. He still repeated the same thing, that he had told us that there's no way he can accommodate us. So I had to go an extra mile. I convinced him that you have to know. He was still like, no, we don't want you here. So I reached out to the principal for intervention. Mm-hmm. The principal came on board and we had to negotiate. They said, okay, we'll only have to sign an undertaking. It didn't work. When it worked, this is still a public venue.
Correct.
You need security.
That's right.
Because the embassy is coming. You need security. Where will that security come from? Because if you go to the GA, reason I'm always, don't fight yourselves. Because when you fight yourself, you have a lot to lose compared to when we work together as a group. So because of the agitations that are going on, lack of security, you cannot bring the embassy and just throw them in an area whereby if something happens, you don't know what to do. They themselves will not even be willing to come to such a venue.
Correct.
So we must have that, because we are the ones who requested that the embassy should come, and we should be able to give provisions for like their protection, their
That's
safety.
right.
Everything has to be taken into consideration. So Cambridge did not say no, but we didn't have the permit. I didn't have peace from the GA. We want GA. We want GA. I had to send out a communique that, please, everything is on course. Just be patient. With time, when the embassy replies, we will engage. But the pressure became so unbearable.
Correct. I know.
We had to take the last option. Where can we go where we can actually host this venue while waiting on the embassy? So we happened to have been directed to the current venue. We went to the current venue and they did assure us. So when you see in the course of our activities, it's like there is some kind of a divine provision. Everywhere we go where we know there is an obstacle, before you know, a solution comes up. So we went to this venue, we did explain our difficulty. They told us it's okay. They will know how they can go about the security issue.
Okay.
So even though we don't have a permit, but we just need to sign an engagement, which we did. We told them how many people we are anticipating. So
Okay.
they told us that the setting they can give for such an audience is a theater setting.
Okay.
It's a theater setting. And with the theater setting, it can accommodate up to 300 people or more.
Wow. Okay.
So I really do not know why people keep shouting out there. Maybe you had an occasion where you had 80 people and you went there, the settings were quite different and you were like, okay, if I have 300 people, how are they going to sit? Yeah, let me just finish on this question.
Okay.
The setting is going to be theater setting, and the best of it all is that they have given us an extra space in a different floor where Cameroonians will sit in their comfort and dine. So yes, the GA will be taking place in the auditorium that we have shared, and there is a dining section where you have to get up. When you feel as eating, you go to the restaurant and they'll serve you. And this is reserved only for Cameroonians at a different level in that same facility.
Okay.
So I don't know why people are complaining. And I want to also plead that if you have problems like this, reach out to the committee. They're always talking to us. So thank you. I shouldn't take much of your time.
Exactly. If I may be asking a follow-up question on this same topic, I may want to give you just 1 minute to answer that. According to one of the questions I received today, somebody asked, why didn't you come back to the GA to tell them that this is the hall we are having, this is the situation we are having? Why did you single-handedly, the committee, go ahead to deposit money for that hall?
I think a responsibility has been entrusted in the hands of the committee.
Okay.
And the committee happens to be one of those bodies that you can never succeed to take a decision as an individual. Yeah, that's how the committee works. We don't only run polls in the GA. The committee is a well-set-up body that you cannot, as an individual, take a decision.
Very good.
So the committee comes from the GA. The GA has given the committee the responsibility to be able to do something.
Do something.
So if the committee can decide, the interest of the GA was taken into consideration.
And we want to say that at least if you put some people to handle certain responsibilities, you want to give them the leverage to take certain decisions at some point. If I really want to conclude on that point, let's continue on the GA that is coming up, Mr. Utia. Looking at what I read today, what you dropped in the General Assembly today on the WhatsApp platform, one of the points that you highlighted there, and I really want to appreciate you for what you are doing together with your committee. One of the points that we saw there today is how firm you highlighted the presence of the security at that place. Some people read that, I don't know what I should call it, a write-up or an article, and they were frightened. Don't you think that what you wrote today and the steps that have been taken will frighten some Cameroonians not to be part of the GA, although they really want to be? Don't you think that?
No one should be afraid.
Okay.
Why should they be afraid? The committee I belong to, we are not criminals. So why should people be afraid? Let them come up. It's a GA for everybody. They should turn out. I know this issue of security is pretty new in this community.
That's right.
Thanks to the committee that everybody is aware that when such things are happening, there are certain protocols that have to be followed. We ask for the embassy to be here. The ambassador cannot leave Riyadh and come and hide in the bush.
Correct.
That anything can happen. Of course, who is he representing? Our head of state. So if our head of state is visiting Qatar, Qatar is supposed to give him the security needed.
Exactly.
So they are not coming to arrest people.
Right.
So Cameroonians should turn out in their numbers, enjoy their GA, and feel free. All I did was just to give an update on what is going on. So they should take it as some sort of an educative test.
Correct.
And not something to discourage them. However, we are not giving guarantee that we are in charge of security.
Correct.
But people should not misinterpret it. It's not for Cameroonians. It's just that when such a thing is happening, the state has to ensure that security is in place. So on that day, even you might not even see any police officer standing there.
Right.
So we will first, it's a hotel. Nobody will come and disturb our tranquility. We will go there, we will have peace, we enjoy, we interact with our diplomats, and that's it.
So the most important thing is that Cameroonians should come on that day being very peaceful. If we are peaceful at that venue, I don't think we're going to have a problem. But if anybody leaves their house to come to that place to create problems, that is when problems will come to you. Thank you very much. We will continue. We want to remain on GA until we change the topic. Another question that I received today is about the contact you've made. I mean, to have some of our restaurants prepare food. And I received a question, somebody asking that, how come you contacted only 2 restaurant owners here in Qatar who are Cameroonians? How come you did not assemble all of them so that they can equitably get something to prepare and bring to that location? I might be wrong or they might be wrong. Your explanation will clear the doubt.
Nobody's ever wrong. But to every story, there are always 2 sides.
That's right.
Nobody's ever wrong. It depends on what angle you are looking at the topic.
Right.
Everybody's always right, and we respect their opinions. But I don't think when we are engaging on anything, we have never solicited first the help of the community, requesting for expert opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the committee has been functioning. We don't function like an island, but to the best of my knowledge, even a WhatsApp group was created, bringing on board all our sisters, which we know have knowledge in this domain of catering,
right,
or hospitality, not catering in the sense, or hospitality.
Mm.
So we reached out to almost all of them to be able to seek their opinions on what. We even send out a request asking them for them to send in quotations.
Wow.
On this, we of course, even in our communities, they are all on our platform, so everybody can visit and see. So we reached out to them. We even went to the point of negotiations. And the one thing I want to highlight here is that we have a perception that this money that has been given to us is too big. The money is too much in such a way that everybody should
get something from it.
It's a wrong perception.
Yeah.
It's a wrong perception. I think it's the spirit of volunteering that has even enabled us to come this far. The outgoing government can barely witness. You don't have a budget, you don't have anything, but you are producing results.
That's right.
You have 500, okay, like you rightly quoted here, 300 people to manage. The outgoing government has hosted events in the same venue. Let's visit these records. How much were they paying per head? Because in hotels you pay per head.
That's right.
If you have 300 people, or let's just say 250, and they are paying per head, let's go by the same rate that the previous government did. Put these things together. Everybody is aware of how much we receive from the team. So at the end of the day, how much do you have? So we reached out to our sisters. Everyone told us what they want. And some of them even went extra mile. If you don't give me this, I'm not doing anything.
Oh.
So we had to go into our computers, calculators, tried. Those who actually sent in something that was moderate, based on the value of what they are producing. Because we are so rational. We are doing things for Cameroonians to protect Cameroon interests. Yes, we only went outside for things we know we cannot get from within the community. So we contacted our sisters and even brothers. So some of them responded. I don't think it's true for people to say we do not contact them. We did.
Okay, thank you very much for giving us a clarification on that very, what I can call a very sensitive point. I mean, we don't want to continue dividing Cameroonians, but with this explanation that you've given, I think it's reasonable enough. And if we should round up this issue of the General Assembly that is coming up, Mr. Utia, how do you look at 2nd of June? Do you see success?
Yes, nothing but success.
Great.
And on behalf of the committee, I will say thank you for the job well done.
Great.
I know it's too early, but I will tell my committee members that this is a job well done. They have been committed. I just want to seize this opportunity to congratulate them for how far we've gone. And Cameroonians should know that the GA is going to be a success. It's already a success. So they should come out en masse, enjoy themselves,
Right.
meet their diplomats, ask their questions,
Very good.
meet new faces, see their new leaders, usher in a new government, a new beginning. So it's an experience I want to like say, don't miss it, come on.
Very good. Okay, Mr. Utia Roger, looking at how much projection you and your amazing committee have given as far as the GA is concerned, there are a lot of people who really have interest to attend this General Assembly, but who do not have the means to travel where they are, some of them in Accor, some at Dukan. What provisions have you made? Have you at all considered these people to make sure that they too be part of the General Assembly that's coming up?
Thank you once more, Mr. Edmond. The committee, like everybody knows, it's a body that came to normalize things. And we cannot normalize things when everybody is not on board.
Right.
And this GA is one of the first of its kind that we're having in this community. So we took into consideration the fact that there are a lot of Cameroonians who don't have jobs, and transportation will definitely be a problem to them. So the committee decided to put out a communique out there, or a message out there with an email address requesting for whosoever is constrained with transportation to reach out to us. Fortunately, we have had a number of persons that contacted us or sent their details to us. And definitely we are going to make sure these people are transported to the venue. Yeah, we will reach out to them, know their locations, and they will be part of the GA, because we want all Cameroonians to be at the GA. We don't want anyone to say, okay, I didn't come because of this or that or that.
Very good. I think that is enough. That's a good news for Cameroonians who might be facing transportation difficulties. This should be good news for you. In case you did not see that message on the platform, since we have a lot of messages coming in, it's coming from Mr. Utia Roger, and you've heard him. Provisions have been made. If you do not have the means to be part of the General Assembly that is coming up, make sure you contact the committee, and of course your name will be included on the list. Let us now go to elections.
Wow.
That is going to take, well, of course, the elections are going to take place on that day as well. We are not going to be discussing candidates, but we shall go to the election modalities. This might not be your question, but as the head of a big committee, which of course we can say Elecom should be under your committee, people have clamored for e-voting. You sampled their opinion. Of course, we all know that the General Assembly is the biggest organ. You went ahead and sampled their opinion as far as e-voting is concerned. They said, we want e-voting to be part of this. At the end of the day, with the communique that I saw from your Secretary General, Mr. Julius, it showed that we are not going to be having e-voting. What can you tell Cameroonians who have been shouting that we want e-voting?
First of all, I want to say thank you for acknowledging the fact that the committee always come back to the GA before they can make a decision. So the assertion that the committee doesn't get back to her root to be able to sample opinions before taking decision, it's not a good one. It's not correct. Yes, coming back to the e-voting option, we had received a number of worries, Cameroonians advocating that they want e-voting to be instituted to complement the face-to-face voting. And we could not sit back because we are saving the community. We are here because of the community. And I want to state it clear, fellow Cameroonians. The committee is not an executive whereby they can just unanimously take decisions. We are just here to make sure that things move on smoothly. We respect the current leadership. We respect the incoming government. We are just a normalizing body to make sure that the system doesn't collapse. So, reason we always come back to the GA. Yes, unanimously people voted that they wanted e-voting. Committee listened. And we took the necessary step to respond to the worries of the committee, irrespective of the opposition we face. So we are not out to please one person. We are not out to please a camp. We are not out to please a group.
Correct.
We are out to sample what the majority wants. Majority voted that they wanted e-voting. So we had to request for expert opinion because in the committee, we don't have anyone who is an IT expert.
Correct.
We did not even know how we could go about. So we sent out a communique requesting for experts to contact us. Only one did reach out to us. So I had to take upon myself that responsibility to read through messages and some experts were like cited that we can contact.
You might want to summarize this point. We don't want to belabor it.
All right, so I reached out to them, I brought them on board. We organized a session whereby we wanted them to come and convince us how possible it is, taking into consideration the time constraint we have, that we can incorporate e-voting into what we already have. Unfortunately, the information they gave us, going by the time frame, we could not implement it. And it should not be misunderstood. We are not saying e-voting is not good.
Correct.
What we said, going by the time frame, we will not be able to implement that.
Right.
Maybe in subsequent elections, they can consider this thing because, of course, the world is moving digital. So, but going by the current setup, it's just not possible for us to implement e-voting.
Very good. Let me ask you a follow-up question. In the course of trying to find solutions to e-voting, there are a couple of meetings you called, and as well as ELECOM, and there was an invitation that was extended. I don't know whether to particular persons. Okay, a call that you made on the General Assembly that if we have people who have knowledge in IT should come and give us assistance so that we can succeed in this e-voting strategy. Now, one of the candidates that we have, of course, is Mr. Kingsley. And it has been a bone of contention on the platform that Mr. Kingsley attended one of those meetings, and people do not see it to be right. You might want to explain to Cameroonians why that happened. I know you've done a lot of explanation in writing on the platform, but we want to hear your voice.
First of all, I want to say, I want to send my apologies to Mr. Kingsley for what he's going through because he stood up for a right cause.
Okay.
The committee has been reaching out to a lot of people, not only Mr. Atasan Kingsley. And if Mr. Atasan Kingsley came in to assist the committee to achieve an objective, I don't see why we have to go behind him. He did this in good faith. He didn't sit through that meeting. He just came in and like introduced whosoever and whatever he thinks can be done. Mr. Kingsley is one of those persons who was advocating or is still advocating for e-voting. Yeah, from the one he's advocating for e-voting. So he assisted the committee to introduce us to someone whom he knew will be able to tell us what we can do to satisfy the community. So it is completely wrong for people to go on Mr. Atasan Kingsley on issues like this.
Some people have given an impression that his presence in that meeting, even though he is, according to the people who are, we have been reading all the messages on the platform, they have an impression that his presence there surely discouraged e-voting, and he might just be pretentious on the platform, writing every day that he is for e-voting. You might want to clear this.
His presence as a candidate or as
a candidate that attended that meeting of e-voting, he might not be in support. In reality, according to what people are saying, he probably came there to convince you people, give you people discouraging ideas for you people to completely kick away e-voting.
Oh no!
People think that he might be pretending.
If they are thinking so, then it's completely wrong.
Okay.
He did not give any technical details on what has to be done for e-voting.
Okay.
He just told us that e-voting is possible. It's possible. So we invited, he's not an expert in IT. Just believing in something doesn't mean you have the technical know-how to be able to convince a body. So he just assisted to bring somebody who could convince the committee that e-voting is possible. So I want to plead on Cameroonians that they should not attack anyone who volunteers to help the community.
Correct.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Utia Roger. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Cameroonians, the program is very resourceful, and of course, we're going to move from General Assembly to look at how far the committee that was created to resolve a crisis in this community has gone. They have gone through a lot, doing all of these voluntary services, being called names. Perhaps they have done their own mistakes, as no human being is perfect, and we are going to go into that now. A few questions we asked the chairperson of that committee. We can call it the conflict resolution committee, of course.
You're right.
Yes. The journey has not ended, Mr. Utia Roger, the chairperson, but you might want to tell Cameroonians how far you have gone with the mission that people or you stood up to handle. Let me just put it this way. Would you say that your committee has succeeded so far? Again, the journey has not ended.
Yes.
How can you score yourself so far?
I will not be able to give an actual score.
Okay.
But there are facts out there. We can revisit them and see. The committee came into place when nobody wanted to hear about Cameroon community. That's a fact. But everybody today is engaged. You can see how active the platform is. Everybody is engaged. There are people who even call me and say, okay, each time I come back from up, if I don't visit the platform, I'm not like feeling fine. You guys are just like giving us what we want to know. So that's success. Right. We have succeeded to bring back the people to the family. This is a huge success. You cannot work when you don't have people. Before now, we had cultural groups that you could not even hear them talk about anything related to the committee. But today we go to like presidential candidates. They visit some of these cultural groups, do their campaigns. So the family is back. That's a huge success. Have we brought back the family? Yes. Has the conflict been resolved to an extent? Yes. If people can come together, it means they have opted to reason together.
Right.
Is the embassy coming on board? Yes. Has it ever happened? No. Is the committee succeeding? Definitely the committee is succeeding. It's a success.
Do you think that before the end of your mandate, I don't know exactly when it's going to end, perhaps immediately after the elections and the General Assembly that is coming up, do you think that before the end of your mandate, you must have realized more goals as a conflict resolution committee?
Like I did say, the committee is not leadership.
Okay.
We will elect our new leadership on the 2nd of June.
Okay.
And they will be handing over on that same day. The committee become non-functional. We didn't come to tussle for any power.
Right.
We came to bring leadership into power. As soon as leadership is born, except the incoming government or decide otherwise. But for us, we don't look forward even doing anything except submitting our reports.
Very good. I might want to invite you here again once you will be ending this sacrifices that you're making together with the committee members to give conclusions as far as the resolution committee is concerned. Mr. Utia Roger, we are wrapping up the show. We have discussed a lot of things already. We might not be able to discuss everything today, but we shall be having you back here some other time, not very far from now. But before we go, Mr. Utia Roger, before we have Mr. Declare to say something or to just say, translate what you said, not in details, in French, I want you to say a few more last words to Cameroonians out there.
We have fellow Cameroonians, like I earlier said, don't be scared, don't be afraid of the police or whatever thing. There is an adage that says the police is our friend, and that's true. The police will not come after us. Come on that day, come and vote for your leaders. This is what we have been clamoring for. Come and vote for your leaders. The Dean has disbursed money for us to come and sit together like a family. So why should you stay behind? The committee has made provision for transportation. So what reason do you have that you stay behind? Come and meet your brothers, sisters, your family, your diplomats, ask your questions, enjoy.
Very good.
I will be very happy to see all of you coming for the GA. Don't be distracted by the negative information you have online about the venue, about this. And again, we just want to also seize this opportunity to say we don't have that time again to be able to respond to every single message because we are busy with a lot of things. However, my number is available around the clock. If you have any worry, do not hesitate to get across to me or any member of the committee, and we will gladly respond to your worry. Thank you so much, Mr. Edmond. Thank you, fellow Cameroonians.
And just one more, I want to call it a bonus something. One would have thought Mr. Utia Roger would give up at a certain point, doing this thing pro bono, and he was called names. This is very important. Just 10 seconds.
Yes. I was contacted and said, okay, maybe I can use my influence to be able to bring the society to others.
Yes.
Anyway, I have never been away from the society. It's just that the kind of job I do, it's so demanding in such a way that I could not actually engage.
Right.
And activities actually grew in our community during the COVID period. And like I did say at the introductory part of my outing today, that I'm into public health. We had COVID.
Right.
So I was a frontliner. So just imagine, at times I have to work extra hours. How do you cope? Where do you get the time to be able to? So I was like contacted and said, okay, good. This is walk-up period. COVID is not like what we used to have. All barriers have been lifted. So I have the time. Let me give to my community. Why should I say no? What are the challenges? I did not know what I was stepping into. Yes. I didn't understand the community.
There was heat.
There was heat. Before I knew, even people that I know them, they started like, oh, he's not coming to collect that money and take his share. I look at myself and said, but all the same, I'm not new into leadership. I have a very rich history from school right up to, anyway,
Right.
This is not about leadership.
Right.
I respect my leaders. I will not want to say I am doing better than my leaders.
Right.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a student, dear EXCO. I am not here to discredit anyone. I am here to compliment with what you guys are doing. I really appreciate it. So there have been a lot of challenges. And the worst challenge we are facing in the committee is that people no longer want to volunteer. Everybody you reach out there will want us to pay them or want that person to be paid.
Right.
And this is a big problem. And when the committee sees some of these negative outings from people, it goes a long way to discourage my members because they fund from their pockets. Whatever thing we are doing, you fund from your pocket, you go online, you see derogatory statements.
Mr. Calling names.
What do you do?
Thank
So-
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Utia. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was it with Mr. Utia this evening, and a special thanks to the entire committee. We call it
Conflict
Resolution Committee. Thank you very much, and you people have sacrificed a lot. Let us have a recap of what has been discussed in English, in French. We might want to give our brother perhaps maximum, because I'm not going to be asking you questions.
Okay.
Maybe 3 minutes, and you just give a summary of 5. No problem.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Ok, merci Monsieur Eddy de m'avoir donné la parole. Toutefois, pour le premier point qui a été bien élaboré par notre chef du comité, Monsieur Utia, pourquoi ce lieu a été choisi? Comme il venait de le dire tout à l'heure, nous avons choisi ce lieu par le biais d'un volontaire, un compatriote qui s'est porté volontaire afin de nous assister à trouver ce lieu. Et nous avons pris les dispositions de réserver ce lieu. Dû aux revendications qui ont surgi, nous n'avons pas eu le choix de reporter l'événement. Étant défaillant devant le concessionnaire et qui ne voulait plus entendre parler de nous, nous étions donc obligés d'aller ailleurs. Après avoir pris les dispositions de réserver un autre lieu, avec résilience, nous n'avons pu obtenir, mais alors il y avait les difficultés de sécurité. Il fallait donc embaucher, contacter une agence de sécurité ou d'autres. Les revendications étaient de quoi? Il fallait faire venir l'ambassade, il fallait avoir un permis et informer les autorités locaux pour que nous ayons le permis et une garantie de sécurité pour l'événement, puisqu'il y aura une présence diplomatique. Voilà donc, avec tous ces interlopes, nous avons pu contacter Century Hotel qui nous ont garanti que, ok, on peut accommoder, on peut avoir cet événement dans les locaux. Mais en ce qui concerne la capacité de ce lieu, ils nous ont dit qu'ils vont nous donner une configuration de théâtre. Et ils nous ont encore garanti un autre espace où on pourrait aller dîner paisiblement. Donc on pourra tenir nos événements dans ce lieu-là qui pourra accommoder plus de 300 personnes. Et on pourra aller dîner dans un autre lieu où il y a l'espace buffet, où tout le monde peut se rafraîchir. Donc toutes les dispositions ont été prises en matière de lieu, donc on n'aura pas besoin de s'inquiéter vis-à-vis de cela.
Okay.
Et en ce qui concerne, est-ce qu'il est risqué pour les Camerounais de venir à l'Assemblée générale? Nous exhortons tous les Camerounais nous convions tous les Camerounais à venir massivement. Vous savez, ici au Qatar, quand il y a un événement, on prend les dispositions sécuritaires. Ils ne viennent pas pour les convives. C'est au cas où il y a un incident, c'est là où, pour établir les faits, on doit interpeller les concernés. Et afin, on va procéder à un contrôle d'identification pour s'assurer que vraiment cette personne, quel est le but, qu'est-ce qui lui pousse à agir ainsi. Donc c'est pour ça que nous exhortons nos compatriotes à être responsables durant cet événement. Et on n'aura pas à craindre si nous avons des titres de séjour inspirés, quoi que ce soit. Okay. Puisque ce n'est pas ça l'objectif. Puisque nous avons fait les requêtes qui ont été acheminées à travers l'ambassade du Qatar en Arabie Saoudite au ministère de l'Intérieur. Donc ils nous ont dû donner un retour de l'accusé de réception de cette lettre qui était une requête de notre ambassade qui nous demandait il faut nous autoriser que nous ayons cet événement, mais en sécurité.
Ok.
Voilà. Donc, pour ce qu'il s'agit du niveau de la gastronomie, l'appel d'offres a été effectué à tous les compatriotes qui exerçaient dans ce domaine. Et elles ont répondu présent à l'appel en renvoyant les cotations qui ont été étudiées durement. Et des concessions ont été conclues dû à le budget que nous avons et on nous a fait les propositions. Et beaucoup ont tranché, ils ont resté sur certaines positions. Donc nous ne pouvons pas les forcer la main à servir la communauté. Donc c'est pour ça que nous avons opté pour ce que nous aurons ce jour-là, puisqu'il y a des restrictions que nous ne devons pas, des détails que nous ne devons pas entrer dedans. Donc, pour l'aspect de Kingsley, il s'est porté volontaire pour nous porter secours afin de nous mettre en contact avec les personnes qui maîtrisent le domaine de l'Internet, puisque nous savons que la majorité ne sont pas familiers avec l'outil informatique. Il nous a mis en contact avec Ernest et Henri et tout le reste. Sa présence dans ce forum était juste il servait d'intermédiaire. Donc il serait maladroit, inapproprié de s'attaquer à lui, puisqu'il était là, il était de bonne foi. Donc nous savons quand même qu'il y a certaines personnes qui aiment stigmatiser d'autres. Donc cela ne devait pas être dans notre communauté. Voilà. Donc en matière de transport, le transport, il y a des dispositions qui ont été prises pour ceux qui sont éloignés et pour ceux qui ont vraiment des difficultés. Nous savons tous que tout le monde n'a pas les mêmes problèmes. Et nous avons tenu cela en considération. Et il y a certains valeureux compatriotes qui aimeraient prendre part à cet événement, qui se sont prononcés. Et nous exhortons d'autres aussi, même si c'est à la dernière minute, vous vous signalez et nous allons prendre en charge tout cela pour que vous puissiez vous rendre à ce lieu. En ce qui concerne pourquoi nous, jusqu'alors, nous n'avons pas pu avoir une méthode de voter en ligne. D'après les explications de nos experts que nous avons, puisque nous avons l'expertise dans le comité, mais nous ne sommes pas là pour imposer. Nous sommes là, on fait recours toujours aux avis de l'Assemblée générale. Donc, nous avons pris en considération les avis de ces personnes que nous avons convoquées durant ce forum. Ils nous ont fait comprendre qu'ils avaient besoin de beaucoup de temps pour éduquer d'abord les masses, pour établir d'abord le logiciel, le site web. Il fallait d'abord 3 jours pour établir le site web, 3 jours encore pour éduquer les masses. Et puis, avoir un budget pour appeler les compatriotes, pour leur donner par exemple les mots de passe pour s'inscrire sur le site web. Vous voyez? Donc, ils avaient demandé au total environ 10 jours à 11 jours pour avoir cette facilité-là. Okay. Donc, avec le temps imparti, nous n'avons pas pu trancher. Donc, on devait déjà établir ce dispositif-là. Et il demandait qu'il faut que ce site soit ouvert pendant 7 jours. Et il y avait aussi il fallait aussi voter physiquement ce jour-là à l'Assemblée générale. Comment est-ce qu'on devait gérer tout cela? Cela n'a pas pu, on n'a pas pu avoir des idées fixées sur cela. Donc c'est cela qui nous a poussé de mettre cela de côté et se baser uniquement sur l'aspect physique pour voter nos leaders. Ceci dit, le comité a eu rencontré beaucoup d'obstacles en ce qui concerne dans ses diligences en matière de réunir, converger ses énergies, puisque par le passé, nous étions divisés et partagés. Nous avons eu des divisions, nous avons eu des tensions. Voilà pourquoi le comité a été créé. Et nous voyons en cela une réussite. Parce que par le passé, il y avait des groupes traditionnels qui ne voulaient plus entendre parler des Camerounais. Ils se repliaient à leur identité. Donc j'appartiens, mon frère est de Bafout. Moi, je préfère être avec mon frère de Bafout. Je ne veux plus être avec un Magno. Je ne veux plus. Donc, nous avons pu avoir à les réunir et il y a cette harmonie qui règne. Voir le nombre de membres sur la plateforme a augmenté et autant d'enthousiasme des personnes qui aimeraient voir comment la chose va marcher. Donc, c'est quelque chose que nous pouvons dire que nous avons réussi dans notre mission à cela, puisqu'il y a toujours des personnes qui sont pessimistes. ils sont pessimistes en ce qu'ils voient toujours l'échec ou on ne voit pas. Il vous dit que, bon, même ces personnes pessimistes, on voit en eux déjà un bon état d'esprit. Oui. Donc, c'est cela qui nous donne de la joie. Et nous exhortons une fois de plus tous les Camerounais à venir massivement, qu'ils n'aient pas peur de la police, parce qu'ici, ils sont là pour s'assurer, on insiste là, de s'assurer du bon déroulement de l'événement. Ils n'ont pas reçu ordre de mission de venir pour un contrôle, pour une perquisition, pour quoi que ce soit. Ils sont là juste pour nous accompagner dans l'événement et pour que tout se déroule dans les bonnes conditions. Voilà une synthèse de ce que le chef du comité a voulu convier aux Camerounais et à tous les résidents du Qatar qui doivent être là ce jour-là, le 2 juin, à cet événement inédit, sans précédent. Merci beaucoup.
Ok, merci, monsieur Duclerc. Peut-être toi-même tu as certains du mot pour les Camerounais. Tu veux dire quelque chose?
Oui, je veux dire aux Camerounais que là, quand nous venons dans une terre étrangère, nous devons tout faire pour ne pas être isolés.
Oui.
Car nous avons eu un cas de notre frère qui a été décédé. Personne n'a su d'où il venait ou d'où il sortait. Et c'était vraiment triste, c'était tragique, que c'est inacceptable. Même la famille au pays dit que mais il n'y a pas les Camerounais. Pourtant, il y en a un bon nombre de Camerounais ici. Donc il faut tout faire pour ne pas s'isoler. Il faut rester en contact, ne serait-ce dans la communauté. Et puis nous sommes une famille ici au Qatar. Nous sommes une famille ici. Donc nous sommes dans notre terre natale. Nous sommes une famille ici. Nous voulons tout faire pour être en harmonie. Nous n'allons pas être là pour être toujours en train de se quereller, bagarrer et tout le reste. Tout cela, est non productif. Merci.
Ok, merci beaucoup, Monsieur Duclerc. Mr. Utia Roger, I'm going to give you 1 minute to ask you this very particular question. Of course, let me ask you, do you have, with all the wealth of experience you have as far as leadership is concerned, do you have an intention to be a leader in this community? If I want to say political aspiration in this community.
What do you mean by leadership, first of all?
I mean, we are talking about you have played a great role inside this community. Now, some people have admired your skills, and they would want to see somebody like you handle a position, perhaps a president of this community one day. Do you have anything in mind like that?
Oh, thank you for this question. I think I have discovered people in this community that are even more than me. I'm a student. We have people in this community that I have met that I respect them a lot.
Yes.
If it comes to like me vying for any position anytime soon, the answer is no. Yeah. So somebody should not think that I'm doing all these things because I admire certain or I have ambitions to like. This is still leadership. I'm still serving as.
What if people say, "Oh, we like his skills"? Because like a lot of people are saying, Mr. Utia is like that, blah, blah, blah. Of course, not everybody will like the way you do things. We still see a lot of people appreciating you.
Yes.
What if they are given a clarion call that we need Mr. Utia to one day handle a position in the community?
I think it's still too early for such questions. Why am I saying so? On Friday we'll be having new leadership.
Okay.
I will want to encourage everyone to support them. Utia is not out to fight for positions. Utia has done a lot. Let us support these two guys that are so vibrant, energetic, visionary for these 2 years. And bet you me, before they are end of mandate, maybe they will want to rerun or someone else will come up.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes, so
for now, I don't have any
okay. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Utia Roger, the chairperson of Conflict Resolution Committee, and of course, Mr. Duclerc, who happens to be part of that committee as well. Thanks to all the committee members. You people have been doing a very wonderful job. Thanks to the LECOM, and thanks to the outgoing Executive Bureau. Thanks to the General Assembly. You all have been amazing. It is a family that God has established here in Qatar. Let us put it intact. On the 2nd of June, let us all assemble and make merry. Let's embrace each other and forget the past. Until some other time, when we'll be having Mr. Utia here again. See you. My name is Edmund. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Edmond.
Thank you.
Ciao.